Hey friends, we did it. It's early in the morning. It looks like it's gonna rain. And it's not 100 degrees yet. So I figured, let's get outside and take a video. Happily enough, we've had lots of monarchs, or maybe it's the same monarch, keep coming. So we have some monarch babies that we're trying to raise up so that they don't get eaten by anything. So monarchs they go to the milkweed, so they use the milkweed as food for the babies. So the monarch butterfly will lay eggs on the underside of the leaves. I don't know if I can find any for you. And then the eggs will hatch as long as nothing eats them. There are these red and black beetles that actually will eat the eggs and will eat the milkweed down. So I am always on the lookout for these beetles. So usually in the morning and like closer to dinner time, I come out here with soapy water to make sure that there are no beetles. It also kills the Japanese beetles. We have now, what are the things we have now? The lantern flies, which is a type of beetle too. Those are destructive. None of these things are native, right? So Japanese beetle, obviously, if that's true, it came from Japan. I'm gonna try to get some berries while I'm out here so the birds don't get to them. We did not cover this year because it grew bigger than our cage that we have for it. And I did see on a Long Island Facebook group that somebody, which they were using to protect their cannabis plants from the lanternflies, they had one that was like 12 feet tall, which would actually cover this one too. I just don't know how you set that up. Not easily. So I guess this year I'm sharing more of the elderberries with the birds than I'd like to, but we got a great crop of flowers this year, and last year we got a great crop of flowers, and that wasn't right. So the elderberries, you have to look because they may look ripe on one side, and then you look at it on the back side, it's green still. That's not right. So, but some of these are actually drying up on the plant because it's so hot. That one's right. So I'm gonna take those because nature already dried it out for me, so thank you. Could see there's some blackberries on our thornless blackberry. Hopefully we get to eat those. The blueberries, I have not had any blueberries that I got to eat because the birds have eaten them. And our Dollar Tree laundry hamper bags are kind of, they're end of life and they're not really working so well anymore. So if you can tell, I cut back the fennel extensively, both fennels, so that there would be more airflow getting into the tomatoes because the disease was so bad on the tomatoes. I did actually have some okra. I had like 5 or 6 mature pods. I tried pickling it, fermenting it, did not like it. So I like the okra roasted, and so does B. So that's how we are going to do it. There was one that I left on too long because I didn't see it, I missed it, and it was definitely a different taste than I would like. So I like them younger. You can see the Tulsi's filling out nicely. We still have some carrots left, some cold weather crops left. Last of the onions that I haven't pulled yet. They'll probably need to be pulled this week. Exciting, we actually have cucumbers. So actually this morning I was out here checking on the cucumbers. So there's 3 there. And I actually used the remedy again. I can still smell the wormwood because, I just dropped an elderberry. I noticed that there was damage here on the white zucchini and on this white zucchini. So I took some soil to cover the damaged spots from the vine borers. I see another one here. And I gave the wormwood tincture with the camphor homeopathic in it, hoping that that will deter any more vine borers. But things are struggling. So even with me trimming up these tomatoes, you can still see some signs of disease on them. But I couldn't trim up everything because then there would be no leaves, and you need the leaves for photosynthesis. Tomatoes would not be happy without leaves. So I did what I could. I'm hoping for the best. Oh, that's not great. So that's eggs from the cabbage moth. So we want to get rid of that, because as it is, we have lots of cabbage moth damage on here along with whitefly. And I have pulled cabbage moss off this Brussels sprout plant repeatedly. And yeah. So it's just, oh, I forgot to grab this romaine. It's just a never-ending saga here with what we are contending with, trying to get food. And as much as I like to trust Mother Nature, to trust that the universe will provide, the last few years have been quite a struggle. This broccoli plant is looking okay. That one back there was covered in whitefly, covered 2 weeks ago. So I did what I could, but it was covered. I mean, you couldn't even see the leaves. It was so thick with whitefly. It was disgusting. So I did soapy water. I did all the things. It's looking a bit better, but I'm keeping my eye on it. These are cabbages. I'm hoping that they don't bolt. I'm hoping they actually form a head. But it's been so hot, I don't know if they're going to. Because my other cabbages, they had Napa ones, they bolted really early, even though they were supposed to be a slow bolt variety. And you could see that there's flowers, but I'm also losing blooms because of the high heat and humidity. So some of the leeks are filling in nicely. Some of them, a bunch of them died. They just didn't do well. But because I started them from seed, it's not a big investment. And I got a good amount. But see, this is my poor Hubbard squash. It's still holding on, so it's opening up its flowers. But the vine borers took it down. So I'm trying to salvage it. I'm gonna give it nice healing energy. I did more of the wormwood tincture. I covered it up. But it is a constant battle with these vine borers. And it's funny because I literally didn't have issues with vine borers until probably, like, it wasn't substantial 5 years ago, 6 years ago maybe. And then ever since then, no matter what I've done, I cannot get rid of them. And that's why I had reached out to the plant doctor, who's a homeopath, to see if he has suggestions last fall. I extensively treated the area. Oh, there's a cherry tomato, that's right. That's exciting. In the fall, in the early spring, and yet still we're here. Look at that. First cherry tomato. That's exciting. It's kind of like it's a little strange looking, but we'll eat it. That's summertime. So you can see now, you can see through here. This hay bale is still here that I've asked my husband to move numerous times. But you can see we have fruit on this plant. Those are butternut squash plants. I'm not sure if there's fruit on the other ones. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's exciting. Just fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. We've got a cantaloupe and a watermelon over here. We actually have a baby watermelon that I covered, but look, you can see it's quiet. For the most part, it's quiet. It's 8 a.m. So it's not so busy, but you can see the phlox and the bee balm. Look how pretty that looks together. Or hydrangea, right? Another type of phlox. So the thing about phlox is it kind of just prolifically seeds itself. the red lobelia, the cardinal lobelia, the hummingbird likes. It's medicinal as well. You know, most of the things that I have here now in the yard are either for the hummingbird, this black face, right? The Wendy's Wish salvia, the firecracker, the dahlia. That's all for the hummingbird. It's beautiful, but I do it to provide food. You can see the vitex is in bloom. That's great for women's issue. That crepe myrtle is in bloom. This one not yet. The crepe myrtles have struggled the last few years as well. But we've got one lily, which you can smell. It's so fragrant. One of the last lilies, Casablanca lily. Some more phlox. The phlox just gets powdery mildew really easily. It's the only thing I don't like about it. Oh, this evening primrose is blooming. I didn't notice that. So we trimmed these down because that would mimic what would happen in the wild. We also trimmed them down because they had bugs and they had beetle damage. But got our Dyer's chamomile over here, which I taken out of the green stalk. The lettuce is bolting. But we still got something from it. We're still getting, we actually got a lot from that lettuce. That lettuce I did not grow from seed. I actually bought as seedlings. And it is performed rather well in this very, very massive heat. I kept the peas. I did put new seeds in because the ends were green. Towards the front of the plants, the tops of the plants, they're struggling. But the ends are still green, so I thought I'd leave them because we're not getting a substantial amount. We haven't gotten a substantial amount all year. But Bee enjoys them. So, see if there's any on here. I don't see any. But it's nice that there's no Japanese beetles this morning, which is encouraging. So we've got some peppers. These are long bells. They're like the mini bells. I don't know what they're called. Not baby bells. That's a type of cheese, but we can call them baby bells. So we have one watermelon so far, but I'm keeping it covered because between the groundhog and the bunnies and bee jumping through here, I don't need to invite any problems. The bees were pollinating this one for me today, which was exciting. So these ones look okay. Fingers crossed we get food from these. And hopefully the remedy works. And even if it, drastically reduces the numbers of them, that's still something. So here is your garden tour. July 15th. See you soon.